everybody, I'm Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and today I'm going to show you how to cook quinoa. Now I'm going to use this quinoa for a recipe after this. This is how to make Haskap quinoa stuffing. So it's going to be very delicious, but you have to start by making your quinoa first. And this is how we're going to do it. Okay, so I'm looking to get roughly 3 cups of stuffing for my little hens. I've got 3 of them. So I'm going to use about 1.5 cups of quinoa. Now quinoa is a grain and it is actually harvested for its seeds. Now this is the seed of the grain. And so this is called quinoa, and they're really tiny, tiny little grains, little seeds, maybe the size of sesame seeds, I would say. These guys are very healthy. They're really great for vegetarian cooking or for adding to other things. If you want to expand your repertoire of just eating maybe rice or barley or something like that, this is a really nice alternative and super easy to make. So I'm going to start with 1.5 cups, and I'm going to use a strainer, and I'm going to rinse this under cold water just like you would for rice. And I need to rinse off the outside layer that's on here, okay? You're going to make sure it's not cloudy anymore, and I'm going to let running water go for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I want to really scrub it, okay? So that's the first step. Okay, so a rough ratio that I'd like you to use is 2 to 1, 2 parts water to 1 part quinoa. So this is 1.5 cups. We're going to use roughly 3 cups. I'm actually going to use just a little bit under 3 cups today because my Cornish hens will finish plumping up the quinoa, and that's what I'm using this recipe for. So into a large pot on my stovetop, I'm going to add this quinoa. Now, I typically purchase quinoa in bulk, so I keep it store it in a mason jar in a cool, dry location, and it's in my current pantry. So I'm going to use just under 3 cups of liquid. You could use water, you could use stock of any kind. I actually have been making a stock overnight, and I'm going to use that. So before I actually add my liquid, I'm going to add some seasoning. I have a little piri chili. Now these are super hot. They're also called African bird's eye chili. One of them is going in there just to give a little bit of spice. Since I'm using a jalapeno Haskap glaze tonight, if you want to use jalapeno in here, this is a great opportunity. Now, depending on what flavors you're looking for or what you're using your quinoa for, will depend on what kind of herbs you add. Parsley is a nice neutral herb, but I'm adding some cilantro today as we're doing a jalapeno Haskap glaze on my hens. So we're going to kind of keep with that southwesterny theme, adding that cilantro. I have about a good tablespoon or so, tablespoon and a half of herbs. I'm going to add some pepper, and I'm going to add salt at the end just to taste. I don't want to add too much salt now. So in goes maybe a half a teaspoon of pepper, freshly ground of course, and my stock. I'm going to add a little knob of butter, maybe a teaspoon's worth, and we're going to stir that up. This is going to need to come to a boil. So I'm going to wait until it comes to a boil. And then we'll turn it down to cook for roughly 10 or 15 minutes after that, so you can have a good gauge of how long this will take. Okay, my quinoa is boiling, so I'm going to turn it down to medium-low heat. And I'm going to stir it again, making sure that everything's combined. And I'm going to let this go 10 or 15 minutes until all the liquid is absorbed. So we'll see you then. Okay, this quinoa is done. I'm going to show you what it looks like. If you keep it on that low heat, you'll be able to let that liquid all absorb, and it won't stick to the bottom if you keep it on that nice low heat. So there you go. It's just like a beautiful grain. It has a little bit of a nutty, kind of a crunchy texture even. It has a nice chew to it. That is so tasty. Such simple ingredients. Now I am going to put a little bit of salt in. And if you want to put some more butter in, you can. Using stock is a really great way to impart a lot of flavor in really easily. Even if you want to do a vegetarian and just use a veggie stock, you're good to go. So there you go. I have a whole bunch of it. That's probably good 4 cups even, I would say. So there you go. That's how you cook quinoa. So simple, so easy, very healthy grain for the family, and a nice change, okay? It's a nice light sort of grain. It makes you not feel so heavy. Anyhow, so you want to put this in a serving dish, and you can serve it along as a side, or you can use it as a stuffing like I'm going to use it tonight. So make sure you check out that recipe. It's going to be really, really tasty. It's a really good basis for a dish. Anyhow, I hope that you try it out too. That's how you cook quinoa, all right? Follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E. Like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on ifood.tv/cookingwithkimberly, youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly, and you can find me syndicated on Roku. Come to my website at cookingwithkimberly.com and subscribe. Interact with us and let us know what's going down in your culinary world, all right? Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye.